I'm Spencer.
And I'm Eric.
And this is the Itch Network. And we're here to review
Dragon Ball Fusions, baby!
For the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah!
And I'm going to explain to you why this is the best game of 2016. So Dragon Ball Fusions is a game that takes place in the Dragon Ball universe with all your favorite characters. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball. Let's get that out of the way real quick. I love this series, and I love anime.
Yamcha is overpowered.
Yamcha is way too strong. They got Goku, Gotens, Trunks, and then more. All your favorite characters are in this one. Broly is in this one.
All right.
And then also older versions of the same characters.
Really?
Yeah. And people's dads and moms and stuff.
Like Bardock?
Bardock's in it, yeah.
Cool.
Everybody. And it's great. So the game is an RPG, semi-action RPG, semi-turn-based RPG, where you play your favorite characters and fuse them together to form an awkward combination of both of those characters, both visually and in the names. Like, I think when you combine Trunks and Goku, it's Go Trunks or something? Gunks? Junks?
Yep.
Shits? I don't know. Something shitty. But the point of the game is, so the combat works as a big circle. It's like a game of billiards. And it takes place on a circular map. And when you hit somebody, it's your turn to hit somebody. You go over to their body and then you hit them. And they get knocked away, and they can knock into your teammates, and they'll kick them somewhere else, or they'll get knocked into your enemies, and they'll knock them with them.
Billiards or pinball.
Or pinball.
Yeah.
It's like Dragon Ball pinball.
Interesting. I like Sonic pinball.
So there's a couple ways you can attack. You can either walk up and hit them. You can use a special attack, which you can't skip, and that's
the animation.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think there might be a setting where you can do it, and I didn't bother to look for it. That's happened to me before on these games. But in the way I've been playing it, you can't actually skip these wonderful cutscenes. Which, why should you? Because you're losing the essence of what the game is all about. It's that awesome flash. Watching your characters, jump around and kick them from behind or use a super energy ball or whatever. And then you can use spells in this game, which are called... those are actually called the special attacks. It's called chi powers. Where you can shoot your chi at people.
Okay. So
Yeah.
like Kamehamehas or Big Bang attacks? Or...
Kamehayas are actually part of the special attack category.
Okay. So then just Ki Blast is just regular orange energy shots?
Yeah, just normal energy shots.
Alright.
Kamehamehas are actually just like a straight line shot, and it's like AoE. There's different kinds of AoEs in there. That's the part where it's cool. It's like kind of like a tactics game in a way. Because there's always an AoE, or there's always a strategy you want to go to. And then all the maps are pretty much the same throughout the game. It's a big circle and doesn't really change that much.
Is the draw background different?
Yeah, like the pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, your map changes.
Okay.
But the actual circle doesn't ever change. But you wouldn't want it to change. I mean, you want it the same every time, right?
Yeah.
And you start off the match the same every time because it's based off of agility. And you knock them in, and you try to eliminate everybody to get them to 0 HP. When they fly off the map, they fly into a distant rock and explode, and it's really cool. And you see it 80 times in the game. And you'll do this 100 times over the course of the game anyway.
It's a lot of rocks.
There's rocks everywhere in this world. There's tons of rocks. I will give it some major credit for the level design, because outside of the battles, there's I don't know if this is how Dragon Ball is, but there's land, and there's floating pieces of land here, and everything's floating, and to navigate through the world you actually fly, so that's really cool. There's a sense of speed to it, and you find people and you challenge them to fights. The whole game is based around the idea that you found a Dragon Ball piece, or all the pieces of the Dragon Ball, and you requested a big tournament where you can fight people in it to be the best.
Oh, so that was your Dragon Ball wish.
Yeah, that was your Dragon Ball wish.
Okay.
and then you and your friend kind of break off, and then you're rivals. You collect all your friends into these teams, and it kind of distorts space and time, and you end up with your parents, and you end up with all kinds of shenanigans. Graphically, it's what you'd expect. It's Akira Toriyama artwork for Dragon Ball stuff. I keep wanting to say Dragon Ball Z, but it's not that, is it? It's
Dragon Ball Fusion.
It's just Dragon Ball. Well, isn't Dragon Ball Z have its own?
It's Dragon Ball Z characters for sure. It's definitely the whole cast of the Dragon Ball Z series. I did see Pan on here, which is GT, Dragon Ball GT, and there is blue hair in here, so there is some Dragon Ball Super referenced.
Oh, there you go.
So the only thing I don't see on, oh nope, there's Kid Goku from Dragon Ball also. It's all Dragon Ball. It's all fused together in one game.
Yeah, it's wild. The problem with the combat, the only negative besides the horrible monotony of it, is you can pretty much beat anybody in any character in any scenario by doing the ultimate fusion, where you fuse all 5 of them together and they become like a really big guy, and you just hit the A button over and over again. It's pretty broken.
Let me explain what the Batara rings are and the fusion dance is.
Yeah.
You fuse 2 people.
Yeah.
That's it.
At one point in the game, they introduce you to fusing 5 people together, and it's pretty wild. You pretty much every person I've come across, you beat them in one move. So
who makes this? Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco.
All right.
I mean, sound-wise, it's a lot of Japanese talking. They don't do the English dub for it, so you just have to read. That's okay. I don't really mind that. The pros of the game are that the combat is good on paper. It's kind of cool to think about it. Like you knock people into each other. You have to be strategic on where you hit them. They can block based on that, so they're blocking. Assumedly, the computer's blocking based on strategy. I think it's a little bit more random than that. But you're aiming and blocking just based on strategy. So if you don't want to be knocked off the screen, you could block that way so you don't get knocked this way.
Gotcha.
But if there's different ways it can go and variables, so it's kind of creative in that aspect. It's good on paper, where like it sounds like a strategy RPG. The problem is that it's the same like in every fight, so that's kind of awful. It's really, really boring. The story is essentially non-existent. It's just the progression system is you going from one world to the next of floating islands, and they get progressively weirder and weirder, I guess. But the story would just be, let's keep going, guys.
Well,
that's pretty much where it ends.
At least it's true to the Dragon Ball story, because it's all about fighting the next big baddie. And just keep going and get stronger and fight more.
That's what Dragon Ball is?
That's what Dragon Ball is. Just keep getting stronger.
There you go.
Fight more, stronger.
The cons of the game, like I said, are the combat, and the progression system in this game is awful. This game actually progresses you through RNG, which is a nightmare. You collect what's called like energy. You get different kinds of energy from people, and how much energy they give you is random. And
based on performance?
No.
Wow.
To get to the next world, you have to get 250 of each kind of thing, or 200 of this and 300 of this and stuff. And to get that, you just have to keep fighting, and some guys don't give you anything.
So the grind is real.
Yeah. And by the time I actually fought like the boss of the world or anything, I was way over level.
Really?
Like hysterically over leveled. The game doesn't care about challenge at all, because you can fight an enemy that's 3 levels higher than you or 5 levels higher than you, and you'll probably beat him anyway. But even if you don't, you still get all the experience from killing whatever you killed, and then you don't lose any penalty. You just keep going.
So progression and pacing is really off.
Yeah, you can't lose in the game. It's impossible. I tried many times. So would I recommend this game? Not even the fans of the game, I don't think. The fans of Dragon Ball, I don't think I can recommend it. It's just really bad.
I played a little bit of it. My brother played some of it. I didn't hear him talk about it ever again after he played it. Like it never even came up in conversation. He basically just wrote it off. It was just done.
It's not good. And I'm gonna full disclosure, I didn't actually finish the game. I got to a point in the game where we're collecting. I'm assuming it's the end, just based on the time I played and how much I looked up it takes to beat it, and what I was doing, which is I was collecting the Dragon Balls again to do
Another wish
or something
for Dragon Ball Fusions 2.
Yeah, that would be my wish. It's Screw that. But I quit playing because it's just like you have to just try to find them in all the worlds, and I said no. So I don't recommend it for anybody for any price. So, I'm Spencer.
I'm Eric.
This is the Itch Network. Thanks for watching.
Big Bang Attack!